So what's good, homies? What's good? What's good? I know we had this thing scheduled for a little bit later, but it was a mistake. I was intending to schedule it for this morning at 7:15 a.m. as opposed to p.m. So here we are. I appreciate everybody being in the joint, man. It's been super real in the field. See the brothers representing. Big Mo, what's good, brother? Phil, what's good? Codeine, what up, man? Songeza, salute. Let me take care of some right quick, man. Let's give the people just a few minutes to get in here, man. I know this is kind of off schedule, which makes it impromptu, which is kind of different. But I appreciate you guys who popped in as soon as we popped on, man. Appreciate the support, man. I really do. Really appreciate the support. Y'all bear with me, man. I live right on Front Street, man. Right downtown, man. So if y'all hear a little noise in the background, man, from trucks and all that passing by, man, that's one different thing about doing it this early, man. It's a bunch of noise, man. I don't hear this noise this time of night because it just is not as loud at night. So y'all bear with me, man. I know it's a little bit different, might be a little bit noisy, but as long as we get this message in, man, let's go ahead and do what we do. Famo, salute. Warhammer, I see you, man. Lon, Doc, salute. Inspired, what up? AJ, what up, brother? I see you. Michael, appreciate it. Buck, man, appreciate it. Chief, what's good, brother? What's good? So, you only have one life to live. You only have one life to live. And I mean that in the literal sense and also the figurative sense. You only have one life to live. Now, what you do with that life, what you choose to do with that life, what you want to do with that life, it's totally up to you. But there are some of us who want to do the right thing with our lives, and we simply just don't know how to do that. We simply don't know how to do that thing that is life. And today we're going to talk about some things that we can do to fix that and affect that in our own lives. Because truth be told, none of us really wants to not be able to affect our lives in a positive manner. None of us really wants that. We all want to be able to affect our lives in a positive manner. Kazan Clan, salute. Look like this might be a good time for us. Let's give the people about 45 seconds, man, and we're going to go ahead and do it. You got to live your life for yourself. Antoine Living, no pun intended. Appreciate the 5 bones, brother. Appreciate it. Salute to the kingdom. Haven't caught a show in a while. You in here now, brother. Appreciate you being in the joint, man. Appreciate you being in the joint. We're going to try this time on for size, man. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. This will be our time. We're going to try this on for size. I'm already up in the mornings, and you guys are obviously already up in the mornings. You know, the early bird get the worm, and I'm about to buy a new deep freezer now because my old deep freezer full of worms. Shinobi Style, salute. Appreciate you, brother. Appreciate it. Shinobi representing. So, you only have one life to live, which means you better live it for yourself. You owe it to yourself to live it for yourself. You can't waste time. See, let's understand one thing. Every moment you waste, or every moment you've wasted, is a moment you can't get back. You won't get that moment back. But what do most of us do? we waste more time worrying about that time. We waste more time badgering ourselves because of that time, bashing ourselves because of that time, ridiculing ourselves because of that time. You know how much time it takes to not just ridicule yourself and be hard on yourself and ride yourself and do all of that. It takes more time to get over that negative energy that you create within your own mind towards your own self and get back focused on the grind, on the path that you need to be on. And let us say this before we go any further. The first elephant in the room is that the path to life begins with the path of righteousness. I say again, the path of life begins with the path of righteousness. Fear of the Lord is indeed the beginning of wisdom. And also the kick in the tail you need to embark upon the path of righteousness. So make no mistake about that. If that's not your thing, if you're one of these, well, there is no God and all of this, if that's your idea, your ideology, this one isn't for you. Because everything we do, everything we are, everything we stand for is based on our understanding of our connection to the Most High. And if you're not with that, fine, you don't have to be. God-fearing warrior, salute. Appreciate the bone. Appreciate the 5 bones. All praises to the Most High. Salute King Ray Ray. Salute Alpha Kings. Keep striving to be your best self, even through the struggles. Even through the struggles. Well said, brother. And this is one of those struggles. Giving yourself a hard time for wasting time. Listen, man, don't waste time regretting and fretting over that lost time. You ain't going to get it back. You need to take all of that time and effort and energy and wrap your mind around the concept of doing what you need to do to not waste any more time moving forward. That's all you can do. You have to learn from your mistakes. And sometimes, rather than learn from your mistakes, you just have to learn how to not make the same mistake again. The lesson from the mistake is easy. That's why you ride yourself so hard about the lost time. Hey, man, if you spend 5 years in a dead-end relationship, if you spend 5 years at a dead-end job, if you spend 5 years at a dead-end church with false spiritual beliefs, if you spend 5 years, man, destroying your body, eating whatever you want to eat, and now you overweight, whatever you've done, stop it today. If you spent the last 5 years, man, gambling all your money away, okay, so what? All that money is gone. Go to wherever you lost it at. If you lost it on sports, go to the people you lost it to. If you lost it with a bookie, go to the bookie you lost it to. If you lost it at a casino, go to the casino you lost it at and see if they're going to give you any of that money back. They're not. It's lost already. But today, you stop doing that thing. Today, you stop living in that existence. Because however old you are, all the years you've lived already are gone. Markel is 20 now, I think. Probably the youngest brother in here. But that's 20 years of his life already gone. So if your life expectancy is 80, you only got 60 years left, young brother. Now think about it if you're 30 and your life expectancy is 80. You only got 50 years left. Think about if you're 40 and your life expectancy is 80. Boy, you're about halfway there. Anything over 40 and your life expectancy is 86, fool, you done lived over half of your life already. You ain't got no time to waste anymore. You have no more time to waste. You must today begin to live the life that you want to live. You got to change whatever you need to in order to put yourself in the best position to win in life. That's what you got to do. You've been thinking about relocating, man, for years. You ain't went nowhere yet. You've been thinking about leaving that job for years, man, because you got other career aspirations. You ain't went nowhere yet. You've been thinking about getting yourself in shape, man. Stop eating all that crap, man. Man, you ain't even stopped drinking soft drinks yet. You ain't even stopped smoking yet. You ain't even stopped staying up late, not getting enough sleep yet. You ain't even started trying to drink half of the amount of water you need in the course of a day. You ain't even cut the sugar out your life yet. You probably got honey buns in your room, in your top dresser drawer now. You probably got some cookies in your car right now. You probably got a case of drinks and a little bit of refrigerator in your house right now. You have got to pick today as the day to start living the life that you need to live. And when I say Markel is the youngest, I mean the youngest member of the Alphasphere, the king who shows up, who's in here active. But surprisingly, you may be surprised to know that about 10% of the following of the Alphasphere and the kingdom is, 13% is young men between the ages of 13 and 18. Which, I mean, it's no, I don't look at it and say, yeah, man, I'm still hip to the young guys. I don't look at it like that. I look at it and say, there's about 10% of my audience, which represents a huge number of men who are already seeking that information between the ages of 13 and 18. These are the men that will be looking to men like Markel to lead them, their peers. Those are the type of statistics that mean the most to me, man. Those are the type of statistics that mean the most. So salute to the young brother Markel, man, for really being in here, doing what he's doing, man, and living his life, building his life. See, let me tell y'all something about throwing money away, because this is the main problem that men have. You throw money away, but I'm gonna give you a stark dose of reality right now, man. Throwing money away is guaranteeing your future poverty. Future poverty. Throwing money away now is guaranteeing your future poverty. It's guaranteeing your future poverty. So moving forward after today, if you throw any money away, you might as well be looking at yourself in the mirror saying, boy, you got a little money now, but you're going to be broke when you get old. When you ain't got it in you to work no more, man, when your body just say, hey, bro, it's time to sit down, when your mind need to rest, you're going to be broke. Because we're going to make sure that, because we're going to spend everything you got right now. We're going to blow it all. That's what throwing money away means. So when you see some of the wealthiest men around, you see athletes making millions of dollars a year. Guys making people yearly salary in a game, $100,000, $200,000, $300,000 in the game. You think about this. If you're an NFL player and you're making at least $20 million a year, do you understand that you're making more than $1 million a game? Even with the playoffs, there's about 20 games, 21 games. You're making $1 million a game, and some of those guys end up broke. Why? Because they're blowing their money now, ensuring themselves of future poverty. Don't do it to yourself. Change whatever you need to change in order to put yourself in the best position to win in life. If you need to change your environment, change it. You know where you need to be. You know where you want to go. You know where your heart lies. Well, how come you ain't living there already? It ain't even got to be out of your state, out of your city. It could be out of your neighborhood, out of your environment. You got to allow yourself to grow. You ever seen somebody buy a small potted plant from, and so maybe some of you men have plants. You ever seen somebody buy a small potted plant from whatever garden store they use? Then it grows. They got to put it in a bigger pot. And then it keeps growing. Sometimes they got to just take it out of the pot, put it in the ground outside in the garden. That's what your life is. Growth and rearranging your life doesn't mean you have to go all over the world. My bad. It means that you have to build whatever it is you need to build. And once it gets bigger and needs more room to grow, you have to allow it to expand. You have to allow it to expand. Look at your personal relationship. Man, you're in a relationship with people. And I'm not talking about just intimate relationship with the opposite sex. I'm talking about you're in relationships, man, with people, man, that are counterproductive to your life. I'm not even talking about relationships that don't benefit you. I'm talking about relationships that are counterproductive, relationships that are detrimental to your life. Before you can even understand what a relationship is that benefits your life, you got to figure out how to detach yourself from relationships that are detrimental to your life first. You have to do that first, brothers. That's the main thing in our lives that we have to understand as men. You have to do that first. You have to understand what it is that you need to do in order to become the best version of yourself. And the first thing you have to do is change and rearrange the things you need to change and rearrange and put yourself in the position to use the tools that God has given you to use to rise to the top. You know, those tools that you continue to refuse. You have to use those tools, man. It's your job to use those tools. Believe me when I tell you. D. Flemings, Famo, salute. Always valuable info in the Kingdom of Ray. Appreciate you, bro. Salute to you, bro. Appreciate the 5 bones, my brother. Appreciate it. Appreciate the grind, man. Someone asked me, man, why I only have a couple of moderators. You know, every now and then Hornet will come through and GC comes through the Kingdom of Ray. But mainly it's Flames and HWB, man. And people ask me, man, how come you don't have a whole lot of wrenches, man, blah, blah, blah. Because truth be told, you know, there are some content creators that have wrenches. But that's just because I want them to be able to promote their channel when they come in. But for the most part, man, I don't need a chat full of moderators, man. You know what I'm saying? Especially since we do closed chats all the time. Even when I open them up, man, you know, it's getting to the point where guys understand that if you get wild in here, man, I'm going to close the chat back down again. And I'm going to be honest with you, being in this chat is a wonderful privilege that we all have. You understand what I'm saying? Like, it's a wonderful privilege to be able to come in and communicate with like-minded men in a constructive way, in a constructive, productive manner is more important than anything. There are no trolls in here. You know what I'm saying? Because a troll ain't hardly finna pay to come in and interrupt the flow of things. So, no, that's just how it is, man. And that's what I prefer. I would rather have a protected environment for us to come in as men and use our spiritual astuteness and logic to really have conversations that are productive to all of us. God-fearing warrior, welcome to the Kingdom of Ray. Salute, brother. So what about these personal relationships you ain't changed? Man, let me tell you something. I talk to so many men, man, who are stuck in a relationship that they know they need to be out of. Man, let me tell y'all something right now. If you're doing something that's counterproductive to you, if you're dealing with somebody who's counterproductive to you, if you're going in a direction that's not the direction you want to go in, people say, well, how do I stop? You just stop. You just be a man and stop. You don't need no help. You just not being a man. Be a man and stop. Be a man and stop doing things that are counterproductive to your life. Just be a man and protect yourself. Protect and provide for yourself. That's your job as a man. Protect and provide for yourself. Some of y'all out here worrying about trying to have a woman, worrying about trying to have a family. You can't even protect and provide for yourself. If you're doing anything in your own life that is detrimental to your growth, then you are failing at protecting and providing for yourself. You don't need no woman. You don't need no children. You don't need no girlfriend. You need to go monk until you figure out how to protect and provide for yourself on a regular basis. On a regular basis. Not sometime. Taking care of yourself is not a part-time job, brothers. It is not a part-time job. What about your career objective? You stuck in that same job that you've been swearing you were going to leave since the first time they didn't give you a promotion. You stuck in that same job you swore you were going to leave since, man, your supervisor be talking all crazy to you. You stuck in that same job where you know you don't feel the same because that job has made you a docile version of yourself. And let me tell you something, brothers. The docile man shall not receive any success in this society, in this world, in this life. The docile man is not the man who's going to be in control of anything in this life. Because docility equals fragility. Not to be confused with humility. Huge difference there. Major difference. MPI, appreciate the super sticker. God-fearing warrior, another young brother, 21 years old. Change whatever you need to change, man, in order to put yourself in the best position to win. This is what you have to do as a man. You got to put yourself in the best position to win. That's your job. Why are you failing yourself, man? Why are you failing yourself? Why are you selling yourself short, man? Why are you taking yourself out of the best position? Man, why are you taking yourself out of the pole position and putting yourself at the back of the race, man? Why are you doing that? You're doing it to yourself. You qualified and won the pole position in your life. You should be in the first car in the race that is your life. How you in the back of the race that is your life? Letting what other people won't control you. Letting what other people need control you. Letting how other people feel control you. Letting how other people think control you. That's how you get in the back car, in the end car, in your own race, in your own life. You can't win from the back home. Ain't no race ever been won by the last damn car. Ain't no Olympic sprint has ever been won by the last person in the race, man. You can't do it. This is real life. This ain't the race. This ain't the tortoise and the hare. Because if the hare had his mind right, he'd have been at home chilling by the time the tortoise came around the finish line. That logical energy as opposed to that emotion. Let me tell y'all the strongest emotion that we don't ever look at. The emotion of oppression. In my opinion, oppression is an emotion. Because it's the one thing that can cause you to get in your own way. The spirit of oppression was on the hare in that tail. He was so fast. And he thought that the area in which he was better than the tortoise was oppressive for the tortoise. So much so that he allowed his confidence to oppress him, his overconfidence, his cockiness to oppress him. And before you know it, he's running, barreling down, trying to catch up to the tortoise who didn't let his lack of speed oppress him. He accepted it as his tool. How do you use your tool of being slow in a race that is normally given to the swift? You become the one who endures to the end. You stay on the grind. When everybody else is saying, boy, we made it, you pull a Jadakiss and say, we gon' make it. We gon' make it. We gon' make it. Because we ain't made it yet. You keep going in life like you haven't accomplished anything. You act like everything can be taken from you tomorrow. That's how you got to live your life. You could lose it all tomorrow. So you ain't got time to act like you ain't got to grind today. Every moment you spend feeling like, okay, I made it, then guess what? That's another moment you wasting. Basking in the glory of something that you've been blessed with. Let's talk about these people who don't believe that don't believe in blessings, who believe that if you just outwork everybody and you're more skilled than everybody. Why is it that I guarantee you, we can all say one thing. The best basketball player we ever seen in our lives never made it to the league. I knew a kid who was better than Michael Jordan. It was as a pro at about 18, 19 years old. 18, 19 years old. Cat will run the court. We win 5 games. And the cat was a ball hog. Now, I give him that. But I've seen this cat not miss a shot for 5 straight games. Full court against different teams. I'm talking about throwing up everything. Falling down, throwing it over the back of his head, man. I'm talking about putting up a shot every single time. Just putting up a shot. And not miss a shot for 5 games. Shoot from anywhere, any kind of shot, man. It's like that. If you've never seen a man blessed with that kind of skill, then what I'm saying sounds like a fantasy world to you. But man, this boy was blessed. That was his skill. Wasn't the sharpest knife in the drawer, but that was his skill. And guess what his last name was? Jordan. He had the skills with the same last name to overtake Jordan. Now, I'll tell you this as well. A whole lot of people from Alabama and Mississippi end up in Michigan and Illinois, Chicago and Detroit, precisely. Jordan played in Chicago. This kid grew up in Birmingham. But he didn't have the guidance, didn't have the influence around him, didn't have the people around him to direct him in the right direction. So he ended up going in the wrong direction with some clowns. Ended up doing 21 years in prison. 21 years, man. All that talent, that gift from God, man. That blessed skill, that magic almost, man. This cat was magical on the court. but he wasn't focused. He didn't know how to change his environment. He didn't know how to change his personal relationships. He didn't know how to change his career objectives. At all. And so he ended up going the wrong route. Because of choices that he made. And the one thing that we have to do that keeps us from falling victim to that is we got to put God first in everything we do. You got to put God first in everything you do. And that don't mean just pray about everything. That don't mean just, oh, thank God for everything. That's not what put God first in everything means. Let me give you a 3-step protocol on how to put God first in everything. First of all, remove all evil inclinations, expectations, and intentions from your mind and your spirit. What are evil inclinations? Those things that humans are just inclined to do. Sometimes we do it under the guise of just protecting ourselves. Sometimes we do it under the guise of making sure that they don't get over on us. Sometimes we do it under the guise of, well, if I don't do it, they will. Sometimes we do it under the guise of, this is what God would want me to do. But remove those evil inclinations from your mind. If everybody else is doing it, or everybody else would do it, you don't do it. What are evil expectations? Expecting to be recompensed good for your evil. Expecting to receive justice for your injustices. Expecting to receive fairness for your unfairness. Expecting to receive the payoff for a hard-working man when you're lollygagging the whole way. Expecting to get positive energy when all you put into the world is negative energy. Expecting to go throughout your life, continue to get blessing after blessing after blessing when you just keep throwing them away. Those are the evil expectations. What are the evil intentions? This is the biggest evil intention of all. All those people who doubted you, well, I'm going to show them. Vengeance is mine, saith the Lord. Anytime you want to go shine in somebody's face, that's vengeance. Anytime you want to go floss some money, that's vengeance. Anytime you want to go take somebody's woman, that's vengeance. Anytime you want to put some numbers on somebody's head, some money on somebody's head, that's vengeance. Because all of these things do the thing that we talked about in the beginning. They cause you to waste time. You're wasting time trying to change the opinion of people who have a set opinion of you. Man, listen, I don't go nowhere trying to change people's mind about who they think I am or who they knew me as. Man, let me tell you something, brothers. We have all had those times in our lives where we were not who we are right now. All of us have. We know that. So if you knew me when I wasn't who I am, okay, that's the person you know me as. Do I care that you know me as that? No, because the bottom line is, however you dealt with me then, you're not going to be able to deal with me like that right now. So I don't have to show you until it's time for me to show you. And if it's never time for me to show you, I don't care, because technically speaking, since I'm not that person anymore, I don't even know you. That version of me knew you. I don't know you. And however that person felt towards you, I don't know why they felt that way. I don't feel that way because, again, I don't know you. Evil intentions, intending to stand in someone's way and stop their progress because they stopped yours. Intending to get over on someone. Intending to mislead someone. We can't have evil intentions. That's not how you put God first. You put God first by removing all evil inclinations, expectations, and intentions from your life. Another thing, resist those temptations which only show up when you're doing well and progressing. You ever notice that when you ain't got no money, the temptation to do things that require money doesn't show up? But as soon as you hit a nice lick, those temptations show up. Ask anybody who has ever been, and I talked to several of these guys, man. Ask anybody who has ever been addicted to blowing money. You know what happens? When they ain't got no money, when they blow through all the money, they like, man, I'm done. I'm done. Very moment they get some more money, they ain't done. First thing they do is be lying. Man, let me tell you something. If you have an addiction, then you have a spiritual affliction. Because there is no man of God. There is no man who is tied to God. There is no man who is directly aligned with God who has an addiction. Addiction is a spiritual weakness. It is you not being able to do what's best for yourself. It doesn't matter what the addiction is. It can be a pharmaceutical addiction. Be a physical intimacy addiction. It can be a financial illiteracy addiction. But if you have an addiction, then you have no connection to God. Your connection to God has been severed. You have to figure out why that is. You have to try to come to an understanding of why you're not connected to the Most High anymore. But first, you have to accept that you're not connected to the Most High. Somebody asked me, how many times should I take the vow of Nazarite? As many as you need to. If you look at your life, if you slid back into the world and you're doing ungodly things and ungodly deeds and you have no connection, you have no spiritual strength. And when you don't have spiritual strength, it's because God is far away from you, brothers. I want you to understand God is far away from you. So whatever's going on in your life when you have that spiritual weakness, you cannot attribute it to your relationship with the Most High because He is far away from you at that point. And you have to keep that in mind. Like my brother Flynn said, you have to be completely honest with who you are. You don't have time to waste on trying to act like you don't know yourself. You know yourself. You don't have time to waste on trying to act like, there's a stranger in your house. No, brother, you know who you are. You know who you were. You know who you became. And you know that you've fallen back into what you used to be. You know that deep down inside, you know it. And you better wrap your mind around the concept that you can't fool yourself and you can't fool God. You might be able to fool me, might be able to fool Flynn, might be able to fool Markel, might be able to fool King Abraham, might be able to fool God-fearing warrior, might be able to fool spiritual alpha, but guess who you can't fool? You cannot fool yourself and you cannot fool the Most High. The two of you know exactly what you got going on in your life. So put your facade on in public. Put your charade on in public. But in private, you got to deal with the truth. So put God first in everything you do. That's how you know when you're on the right path. If you don't have that connection to God, you're not on the right path. Now, am I saying that God just kick you to the curb real quick? No, I'm saying that if things are not going the way that they're going in your life. If you have something that's detrimental and you can't seem to get over it. I want you to think about how difficult it must be to not be able to stop doing something that's detrimental to your life. Do you think God is with a man who cannot stop doing that which is detrimental to his life? There's a lesson that you're not learning. And I suggest you learn it. I suggest you learn it. And the third way to make sure you put God first in everything is to avoid evil energy and those who house it. Anyone who is bringing evil, negative energy to your life, if they're bringing negative energy to your life, you got to get rid of them. Anybody. I don't care who it is. It can be your mama, your daddy, your children, it can be whoever it is. I don't care who it is. If they're bringing negative energy to your life, man, you got to rid your life of them. You got to free yourself from the bondage of someone else's spiritual evil energy. You have to do that. You owe it to yourself. You got to do it to yourself, man. You cannot be around here living a life where you're not giving yourself everything that you need in order to be successful, man. You're letting other people infiltrate your fortress of solitude and allowing them to bring their own negative energy into your life when they don't even belong in your life, man. Get them out of there. That's what you got to do. So here's what you got to do, man. You got to live the life of your dreams. And the thing is, we don't all want the same things. We don't all have the dream life that equates to the same thing. We don't all want the same cars. We don't all want the same existence. We don't all want the same clothes. How many people you see come on this boy, man, wearing a dashiki? How many? There may be some, but there aren't many. Because many men don't want to wear dashiki. So what? Many men don't have to. Not everyone has to do the same thing. There is no American dream if you were born in. Let me tell y'all what the American dream is. The American dream is this idea that people outside of America have, that life for them is going to be better in America. And for the most part, it is. Like, you can think, we can say what we want to say about being in America, man, but when you go to other countries, you'll see the difference. You'll see the difference in being technologically advanced. You'll see the difference in, having a financial system that's still, even though it's weakening, is still pretty strong globally. You'll see the difference in that, man. There's a huge difference in living in America and another country when it comes to that. But the same thing they shun, we would rather have them. Like, we look for those things. We dream of those things, man. We're enticed by peace. We're enticed by quiet. We're enticed by maybe not being so technologically advanced, being somewhere where people still communicate face to face in person. So the American dream isn't for Americans. The American dream is for other people. The American dream is for people who live in impoverished countries. The American dream for people in Haiti. The American dreams for people in South Africa. The American dreams for people in Ghana, in Kenya, in Nigeria, in Jamaica, and not even in Jamaica. A lot of times the Caribbean, they cool with being in the Caribbean, man, to be honest with you. A lot of people in the Caribbean are cool with being in the Caribbean. And I'm not saying all Africans want to come here, but there is a portion of Africans who do. There is a portion of Mexicans who do. There is a portion of people from pretty much anywhere, man, that wouldn't mind being here because they are focused on money. They are focused on not being impoverished. They are focused on being able to feed their families. And I get that. We take that for granted. They can't take it for granted because it's hard for them to feed their families. But the American dream is the biggest nightmare an American can face because it's an impoverished mindset. Pursuing the American dream is a mindset of somebody who has nothing. Like somebody who has nothing, has never seen anything, and hadn't ever seen anybody with anything growing up. That's almost impossible now. It's almost impossible to live a life where you don't see anything, don't see anybody that looks like you successful. With social media and the trick box and all of that, man, it's just hard to see. Even if it is on the trick box, it's hard not to be able to at least embrace the fantasy of having those things and not having the mindset of someone who's impoverished. But here's what sums it all up, man. Got a little sidetracked there. But here's what sums it all up. You got to know your purpose. But not just know it. Not just know it. Because knowing it is only half the battle. You got to know your purpose. You got to know that thing you have a passion for. If you don't have a passion for it, it's not your purpose. If you can't see yourself doing it every day of your life for the rest of your life, it's not your purpose. If you can't see yourself building from step one with nothing and going as hard as you have to go in order to build it to something, it's not your passion. It's not your passion. It's not your purpose. Your purpose and your passion are the same thing. It has to be that thing that you have a passion for, because that's the only way you can pursue it with passion. You don't develop a passion for something. You pursue something with passion because you already have a passion for it. It is your passion. You can only pursue your passion with passion. You can work hard. You can be a hard worker. You could prototypically be taught to be a hard worker, but that's not passion. Passion is working hard and it not even seeming like work. You understand? Where the hard work is the fun part. That's why I tell you, man, to focus on the process of progress. If the process isn't fun, if you can't focus on the process, then you're not doing the thing you need to be doing, because the process is the fun of it, man. The process is the fun. Even creating content, man, the funnest part of creating content, man, is turning on the camera. Creating the content is the fun part. Editing is a continuation of the fun part. Honestly, the upload is the end of it. That's how you get into this cycle of uploading so much content. The process is so exciting, so invigorating, man. Like to cut the camera on and see me in the camera, bam, there's an excitement to that. To start talking, to start doing what I'm doing, there's an excitement to that. Editing that, making it come out the way it's supposed to come out with the correct color, and or if I want to add a splash of something to it, that's part of the process. It's fun, but when I upload it, it's gone. That's why I do premieres. I'm gonna be honest with y'all, man. I do premieres so I can hear the content. Because if I just uploaded it, I would never listen to it. I listen to the finished product to make sure I cleaned it up the way I want to, but that's not the same as listening to it for the enjoyment of it. Listen to it to embrace the information. I never listen to it to embrace the information until I do a premiere. When I do a premiere, I'm actually in there listening with y'all to the content. Interacting with y'all in the comments, we're listening to the content. I never get a chance to hear these live streams, ever. That's why I'm now I'm getting to the habit of re-listening to them. But once I finish this, y'all get to listen to it perpetually. I don't listen to it anymore. So, but I jumped way off track there, man. Know your purpose and pursue it with passion. Know your purpose and pursue it with passion. Know it by pursuing it with passion, because if you can't pursue it with passion, it's not your passion. Know your passion. Matter of fact, let's stop using the term purpose. We'll let everybody else use the term purpose. We're going to use, you got to be on your passion. You got to be living you got to be existing in your passion. You got to be waking up every day in your passion. You got to be in love with life. You have to have a passionate connection to your life. You got to be in love with life, man. If you're not in love with life, then you got some things you need to fix. And when does that start? Not tomorrow, not the beginning of the year, not after the holidays. It starts today. Start today building the life that you want, or you're going to continue to build a life that you don't. And none of us should look forward to that, because that's absolutely nothing to look forward to. Nothing to look forward to. So don't do it to yourself. I appreciate y'all being in the joint, man. We ain't going to stay here too long, man. Came here and rocked out on the Ray joint. I appreciate y'all being in the joint, man. Big Mo, I see you, man. I saw you come in here, Slab. King Abraham, I saw you, man. Spiritual Alpha, I see you, bro. I just skipped somebody, man. Hold up. Somebody came in with a super chat. I just skipped them, man. Okay. 247, man. Appreciate the $2 euro. Salute OG. I'm at work right now. Finna watch on the playback. Yeah, this one will be up, man, for a minute. Got some good things coming for y'all, man. So y'all just be safe, man. Y'all be careful out here. Keep living the life you're supposed to live. Amazed. Salute, brother. Appreciate the 5 bones. Thank you for the early morning wisdom. BOA. Salute to you, man. So, man, we'll be back in this joint on Friday. Again, 7:15 a.m. Central Standard Time. This is our time for the King Ray channel. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 7:15 a.m. We're going to make this thing at least a 3 times a week thing. And we'll build from there and see what we got, man. This is the kingdom of Ray. And I hope you all continue to have an absolutely blessed day. Peace.